It's time to break down some football.
We got to get our mind right. Touchdown, win.
From the perspective of guys who played in the NFL.
Caught, touchdown!
And a guy who had one really great sack in high school.
Oh, you're so weak. You're a waste of my time.
Greg Camarillo and Marcus McNeil are the pros. And Skraby is the Joe.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Two pros and a Joe starts right now.
I can't believe it, guys. Super Wildcard weekend is here. Two pros and a Joe. We have so much to recap in this episode. And, you know, last year I went through our archives. And, by the way, I'm Skraby. I'm the Joe of the podcast. Here with Greg Camarillo, 8 years in the NFL. Marcus McNeil, 6 years in the NFL for the Chargers. And I had one sack in high school. You can go to twoprosandajoe.com, just trying to fit that sack in there and then get through it so that we don't have to deal with it.
Just fit that sack in there, Scrapes.
Oh, yes.
Wow. There you go, buddy. 30 seconds into the podcast.
30
seconds. Scrapes is back.
I mean, I just got done telling a story to you about how I changed in front of my family and everybody saw me naked. And so I don't know what's going on with me today. But I looked back at Super Wildcard weekend, and last year it was so much more fun. The games were a lot more competitive. This year, I would say we only really had two good games, and then we had four bad games. Bad games as in their blowouts. And what'd you say?
We had some trashy games.
We did. So let's get into them. We're going to go in an order of importance. What's up? Were you about to say something, Greg?
No, just trashy games. Got some stuff done around the house. Freed up about 6 hours of TV watching.
Oh, my God.
It did. I mean, let's go through them. We'll go through them in order of importance and in order of entertainment value. And, of course, we're going to start with the 49ers at Cowboys. And that's not, of course, because I'm a 49ers fan and Greg and Marcus are 49ers fans. That was the game of the weekend. That was the creme de la creme. And the 49ers survive in advance. And I think the word survive is the word that you need to use here, because at the end of that game, when Dak Prescott did the draw with 14 seconds on the clock, it was a huge risk. And at the time in my head, I'm thinking, oh my God, that's kind of brilliant. They're getting closer to the end zone. So it's only gonna be like a 25-yard pass in the air to like try to score or whatever. And then the whole thing happened where Dak handed the ball to his center instead of handing the ball to a referee to spot the ball after he did his quarterback draw, which took too much time off the clock. And then you end up seeing that the game ended because they couldn't get the spike down in time. And I'm not so mad about the play call, and of course, because I'm a 49ers fan, if I'm going to take out if I'm going to be unobjective, I think is the word, if I'm going to be unbiased, I'll go with that one. I really, really thought that Dak was going to be able to drive them down to win it at the end. And that quarterback draw was not the problem for me. The quarterback for the Cowboys, it was the rest of the game. They had 14 penalties, a lot of those penalties resulting in automatic first downs. And Jimmy G played like shit in the second half. We've come to find out that he has a shoulder injury and he's dealing with his thumb injury. But there were some really terrible decisions by Jimmy G in that game. And I don't know what you guys think, but what were your guys' thoughts about what went down with that final play and what goes forward with this team? Because Mike McCarthy, he's being rumored to be on the hot seat, and I might say he is, because after the game he was like dumbfounded that this didn't work. So I mean, I don't know what to think about Mike McCarthy. What do you guys think about the game, Greg? What do you think?
I have zero issues with that final play. So look, you've got 14 seconds left. You're 40 something yards away. You have two options: throw it into the end zone or try to get about 10, 15 yards on the sideline. The defense was set up to stop that. like, you're not going to get that pass in. I'm cool with them trying that. Let's try something to get a chunk of yards and then make one final throw to the end zone, because a Hail Mary, that's not the answer. And it almost worked. I mean, they were literally 1 second. If Dak slides 5 yards earlier, pops up, hands the ball to the ref, that's the key. They do it. They succeed, and then they got one shot from about 25, 30 yards out. I'm all right with that. So I'm cool with that. Mike McCarthy I didn't think he was the answer when they first hired him. He doesn't look like the answer, but I also don't think it's time to bail on him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it's time to bail on Mike McCarthy yet, but with Dak in the last play, I really feel like it came down to like how much savvy you have in the game right there, like how much game you have in the game, and to understand the situation, exactly when I need to get down, exactly how many yards I'm trying to get to, and exactly who needs to get the ball after I finish. Like, that's 3 levels that you have to know before the play even takes off, and I think that they probably prepare for that situation. You could tell by the trick play that they had dialed up the first play on the hook and ladder. That was a pretty good play.
Really good play.
And then them attacking the field, it looked like it was going to work. But when you haven't been in that many situations like that, that's just a tough ball game to finish with. Like, you have to see a lot of football to exactly understand that situation. I just don't think Zach and the Cowboys are there yet.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think is worse as former NFL players, if you're a head coach? Because I think this is probably going to decide Mike McCarthy's fate. The Cowboys were the most penalized team in football all year, and I think you guys have said this.
That's pure coaching.
Yeah, that's what you guys have said before.
Yep.
I think Marcus Spears, he's on ESPN. He was losing his mind about the Cowboys, which was hilarious. And he was saying that one of the guys on the offensive line got 3 holding penalties in like week 3, and then got 3 holding penalties in week 7. And basically, that's a coaching staff not adjusting and not teaching, or at least trying to address the issue, because they keep getting penalized for the same thing. If I'm Mike McCarthy, that 14 penalties in the wild card game is probably what's going to get me fired if I do get fired.
I'm going to tell you like this. The Cowboys are missing one layer to their team, and it's their offensive line. If you watch their offensive line, that left guard got beat like a drum. I'm talking about, like, every time you turned around, like he's not even like missing blocks, like he's whiffing, like he's completely missing guys. And then it's like at the guard position, when you miss that bad, like you're immediately on top of the quarterback's lap. And Dak was running around and moving for his life. One play, he almost gets sacked. He doesn't get sacked, but he gets so much pressure that the next play, if y'all pay, that's when he threw the interception. And in a game like that, when you're trying to come back, you can't have that. So I think they have enough talent on the field, at every level. I just think that they have to address that offensive line. They don't have that big, nasty offensive line that we're used to them having, like back in the mid-90s and the late 80s.
Yeah.
So what they need, especially after all those penalties, a coach that's going to come in and just run shit. And we know that's not going to happen because Jerry Jones wants to run shit. The people he has hired are like, I don't want to call them puppets because they're not really puppets, but they're not the dudes like Belichick, Mike Tomlin, where they just like, this is my team. This is how it's going to be run. And so you're good because Jerry Jones wants that power. So you're going to get these guys that are kind of softer, Jason Garrett, McCarthy. And that's what leads to an underperformance. Your head coach needs to be that stone. He needs to be that guy that everybody follows. And they don't have that. And I believe that's because Jerry Jones wants to be that guy. And that's not football knowledge. He's a businessman, not a football man.
Now that you said that, Greg,
he thinks he's a football man. Sorry.
He does.
Sorry,
that's
Marcus.
the problem.
No, you good. Now that you say that, Greg, the team almost seems like they play soft because of their coach. It's like you kind of emulate in a certain way how your coach is. And if you look at that game, they got bullied and pushed around and beat up on, and it kind of credits to what you said. Like, if you have that type of coach, then, that mentality is going to come out and the team's going to end up being soft. Yeah. And if you look at some of the better teams, like the Tennessee Titans, for example.
Yeah, there you go.
They're built for it tough because Mike Vrabel was in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's getting them ready to play every weekend. And even like Bruce Arians or what's my boy from Andy Reid from KC, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't look like he's cracking a whip, but he looks like, you know what I'm saying, somebody you believe in whenever they're talking.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get to the Chiefs. It's incredible how they can turn these scrubs into offensive stars. It's just incredible. We'll get into that, but
call them scrubs. I'm interested in hearing where we're going with that.
Well, more like we'll get to it. But the running back. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I will gladly defend that. I don't really know scrubs. Scrub is a guy who can't get no love from me.
Side of many rides.
I have been. Yes, you are absolutely right. You know why? Because I don't drink and drive, and I was usually wasted in that passenger seat, and so I was having a good old time singing Scrubs by myself.
Hey, girl, I had 1 sack in high school.
1 sack.
You know who I am? I'm Skraby.
I'm the Joe. I'm me. I'm
so happy I'm not like that anymore. I'm so happy. But one thing that we should talk about before we move on is Debo Samuel. This dude is incredible. Incredible. Long term, I worry about his body and how many hits he's taking because he's taking a ton of hits. But yeah, and hard hits. He's just going for it. He does not shy away from contact. But he is a game changer. He was the best football player on the field that day.
Absolutely.
And on either side of the ball. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but his touchdown run in the third quarter or late third quarter, fourth quarter.
Oh, beautiful.
And it was beautiful, but he told Kyle Shanahan, he said, give me the ball. I want the ball. And that is what I want on my team. I want a guy who's like, hey, it's a high pressure situation. We need to score right now. Give me the motherfucking ball. And I'm going to motherfucking score, Kyle Shanahan.
Score that bit.
Score that bit. And he did.
Oh, man.
Hey, you right, Scray. Hey, you hit it on the head, man. Debo Samuel is amazing. You know what's even more amazing? For him to have a name like Debo.
It's perfect.
But then I looked him up, right, to find some mean picture of him online, and in every picture, he's smiling his ass off.
Oh, man.
You know why he's named Debo is because when he was a kid, he used to his dad would be holding him and he would grab his like chain and keep pulling on his chain. So he said he was a chain snatcher.
Yeah. That'd be perfect. That's perfect timing too, because Friday came out about 96, 95, 96. So that means he was probably I'm still old. Young. Yeah, man.
If it's coming out in 95, 96, and Debo's like an infant, then I am old. He was born in 96.
There it is.
Hey, right there. It was right on the cusp. Right on the cusp, right there.
Yeah. So Debo I say just give the ball to Debo and do what he can do. But Brandon Ayuk stepped up big time for the 49ers as well.
Jawan Jennings.
Yeah. And Jimmy G. I'll give. Go ahead, Marcus.
I forgot they had Calvin Benjamin.
I forgot he was still playing.
Travis Benjamin.
Travis Benjamin. I haven't heard from him in a decade. And then
I didn't know either. I had no idea.
He was the man coming out of college, bro. Like he was like a big time receiver. So when he made a couple catches in the game, I'm like, where have you been? I haven't seen you since we
getting paid.
Yeah, I haven't seen you since you beat us in the national championship. You know what I'm saying? Like
he's been hiding on rosters, getting paid.
He has been, and I didn't even know he was on the 49ers either until he made he was back there for every single punt, and then he caught a pass early in the game. But I'll say this about Jimmy G, and then we'll move on because Cowboys are a mess, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Cowboys a little bit later and talk about their defense and all that stuff. But Jimmy G, he gets. I feel like some people just want him to fail, and so that's why they talk bad about him. But he needs to figure out how to eliminate that one terrible play that he continually shows up in these games, and he's got to eliminate it.
I got a question for you guys. Yeah, you do the grocery shopping in your household?
Sometimes I used to.
Since COVID.
Where do you go? Like, where do you get your groceries?
Vaughn's.
You ever been to Trader Joe's?
Yeah.
You like Trader Joe's?
It's expensive, but yeah.
Yeah, they got some good stuff, but do they have like everything that you need?
No.
I don't know where you're going with this, but no.
Just roll with me. You both look very concerned.
No, I got you.
All right. So Trader Joe's has a lot of great stuff. They got some solid frozen teriyaki chicken. They got some nice fresh vegetables. Yeah, they got a few of the dairy items, but they don't have everything that you need. You like it there, but it's not complete. Jimmy G is the Trader Joe's of grocery stores.
Great call.
Like it's great. I love watching Jimmy G, but he's not that complete store. Like I still need to go to Vaughn's,
and that's still got to go to Vaughn's.
But I think he can get it done. Trader Joe's is good enough to get you there for a short amount of time. And I like what I've seen, man. I support Jimmy G. If he wins one more game, they got to bring him back.
Shit, when you got two players like Kittle and Debo Samuel, who, if you're Trader Joe's, they're big time box stores like Walmart, you know what I'm saying, and Home Depot. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they got everything you need. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can run the ball for you, I can catch it. You know what I'm saying? You need me to throw a touchdown, I got you. You need a block, I got you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you can have Trader Joe's right around the corner as long as, you know what I'm saying, you got the rest of what you need.
I love these analogies. They're amazing. And that was a good one about Jimmy G, for sure, because you're absolutely right.
Thank you for road trusting me on that. Big Mac, I do have to share with you the Trent Williams post-game interview. And you got to look at that neckwear, man. That's the best looking O-lineman I've seen in a long time.
Bro. Like, I give it to Trent Williams. You absolutely right, bro. He has the sauce. He has the drip. I'm like,
I don't even think my neck can hold those up.
Bro, it's no need to. Hey, I don't know if you guys have seen, but like, I didn't know what Trent Williams had went through, you know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know it. Do tell.
Bro. Yeah, so he had a situation where I think he had a tumor or something in his brain, bro. In his brain. To where, like, he has a documentary out now to where, you know, he shows where they had to go in and operate and cut back, you know what I'm saying, the top of his head to like go in there and get it out, you know. And for him to have, like, you know, like, come from something that might have been something that could have took his life to be back playing on the field, bro. Like, he's
to the top. To the top. On the field.
He's a different type of animal, bro. Wow. And he absolutely can wear 10 of those chains, you know what I'm saying, for coming back like that, bro. Like, I love everything about him, man. Shout out to Trent, man. We got to get him on here one day, man.
Of course, I would love to have him on. I think the reason he's not with the Washington football team anymore is because the doctors. Now, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I believe the doctors and him were arguing over what was happening with his health. And he was like, I need to get a second opinion. And he did get the second opinion. And that's when they found everything. So that's why he got traded from the Washington football team. But that is a great story, Marcus. I mean, they did have to like move his scalp around and all this other stuff. Ooh. And I can't believe it that he's back and he's playing as good as he is.
Yes, he is, man. He balling, bro. Like
he is.
For real. Like, he's not just back, like, he's playing at a top level. Like, I watched his matchups this weekend, you know, and he was winning every time, you know what I'm saying? And that's the player he's been since Washington. You know, he probably the best thing he could have did was get around there, because apparently the medical staff they had in there was doing a lot of bullshit, you know. So like, he probably made the right decision.
All right. The 49ers play the Packers in Green Bay on Saturday. In the next episode, we're going to talk about some of the upcoming matchups. So we will leave that conversation for that. And we're going to go to the Bengals and the Raiders. Now, the Bengals beat the Raiders 26-19 at home. It came down to the final seconds. Derek Carr threw the game-clinching interception. It was the first game of the weekend. I thought it was an awesome game.
Great game.
But really what the Bengals offense can struggle at times, but they're also a big play team. And it also really helps when Jamar Chase is your rookie sensation. He caught 9 balls for 116 yards, third most receiving yards as a rookie in the wildcard round. And then he had a huge 4th and 1 run out of the backfield. And it was eye-opening for me watching that. I was like, man, they need to run that guy out of the backfield more often, because he can get around the corner. And once he gets around the corner, he's gone. And Greg's saying no in the screen.
Oh, you're going to hurt him.
I mean, don't run him up the middle.
He's built similarly to Debo, maybe a little less meat on the bones. But damn, he's so exciting as a receiver. I mean, and I guess that's the same for Debo. I just don't want to see those guys get hurt, man.
I don't want to see him get hurt, but he be big boying him on the outside. Like, he's aggressive, he's strong, you know what I'm saying? And like you say, like, I think the fact that he is built like Debo, like, allows him to be able to run the ball like that confidently. And I still go back to that run where he put on the Jets. Like, I didn't know he could move like that, bro.
Debo
running away
Debo
from
is 5'11", 215.
Oh, wow.
Jamar Chase is 6 feet, 200. That's a big difference. And that's thigh. We're talking about thigh meat right there.
Thigh meat.
Yeah. I also found that run that he had a couple weeks ago. It was like he was running away from NFL players. It wasn't just he was running away from linemen. He was running away from secondary guys. And those are the fastest dudes on the field right there. So that was impressive. But I think also was impressive was Joe Burrow. He kept his cool.
Oh, yeah.
He is a 5th year, 6-year quarterback in his second year, and the Bengals got a good one, and he's here to stay. And I'm excited for Joe Burrow and that Bengals team.
Is Joe Burrow the new Tommy Brady?
Tom Brady?
Is he the new Tom Brady? Joe Burrow?
Well, he's got to win a Super Bowl first.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just talking about as far as demeanor, calmness, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think he's more calm than Tom.
Yeah, like confidence, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. After the game, they asked him, how surprised are you that you won this game? He's like, we're not surprised at all. We expected to be in this position. And so we're on to next week, and we're on who we play next week. And he just given all the right answers, and Cincinnati loves him.
If you know why he seems like he's in his 5th year?
Because he is.
He's the same age as Lamar Jackson. He's old as shit.
Yeah.
How old is that? 26?
25 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's won a national championship in college. Like, the dude has been around the block. I'm not saying that he's playing amazing football, but it's like that extra maturity from those extra years. I mean, it helps.
It shows. I mean, he just looks like like a politician or something. Like, I don't know
he does.
Like, he looks like somebody I would vote for. You know what I'm saying? If they had the right policies coming down the pipeline.
Right now, be a senator in Ohio.
Oh, guaranteed. They named this high school stadium after him.
Sign him up.
Man, come on, bro.
That would be pretty sweet. Matt Skraby Field. That'd be great. It's not going to happen, but it'd be great. It'd be great.
Donate $100 million, they might give it to you.
Hey, that's all.
I don't have that.
Bro.
If I got $100 million, I'm buying something cooler than a stadium. So
fair enough.
The other part of this game is that the Raiders, you got to give the Raiders credit. They made the playoffs. They almost won a playoff game. Derek Carr after the game said that Rich Bisaccia, the interim head coach, he said all of us want him to be the head coach. And then the Raiders go and they fire Mike Mayock. I don't know how that bodes for Rich Bisaccia, but there's a picture going around Twitter of him, Bisaccia, in his hotel room writing handwritten letters to each player, like thanking them for their hard work this season. And Greg just gave me a little bit of a weird look. So I don't know if you think that's a little strange or if it's a little weird, but
just stay true to you. If that's who he is, then stay true to you, man. Be authentic. When they lost that game, Carr came to the sideline, and the first thing he said, you could see him mouthing. I'm 90% sure he said, "I'm proud of you." And so he's just staying true to who he is. And the guys obviously like that. They lost a head coach and 2 first-round picks in the same year, and this dude rallied the troops. I think he earned the job personally.
I think they blew their load against the Chargers.
They probably did.
It was so much like on the line emotionally and mentally. Like they were coming off a playoff game last week that they barely skated by with. And I think that had a toll on them early in the game, you know what I'm saying? To where they were still coming off a high, and it took them a while to kind of get, into the game this week. And I think that just came off of last week and how big the game was the end of the season, the regular season. It was a big game, big atmosphere, and people don't see it a lot of times, but that takes a toll on you mentally, physically, and it's hard to repeat that, so quickly.
They almost won. I mean, they were 12 yards away from winning or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
It was a respectable performance.
It was a respectable performance, and I do like Derek Carr. I think he's a good dude, and I think he's a good quarterback, and so we'll see what happens. Some are rumoring that Derek Carr might be out with the Raiders because of the new GM, but we'll see. We'll see about that.
I mean, you can't get out with him until you find somebody better. And how are they going to find somebody better?
Well, they have Marcus Mariota behind him.
Exactly. They're not going to get rid of Carr.
For Mariota, the Titans have been doing wonderful since Mariota left. Like,
it's kind of true. It's kind of true because the Bengals are actually going to go and play Tennessee on Saturday. It's going to be the first game of the weekend. It's in Tennessee. I believe I think I've been seeing some things about Derrick Henry. I'm not actually sure if he's going to be. He's back. See, he is back. I knew he was back.
Rested and healthy. And I'm assuming
still large.
Still large.
He's still about the size. He's about the size of an offensive lineman, like height wise.
There's a story. You know what? I got a story about that. It was a Chargers alumni weekend back in Qualcomm when they were in San Diego. It was against the Titans. They bring the alumni on the field, and I'm standing in the Titans area talking to a guy that one of their trainers that I used to know, and the linemen are warming up, and I'm like, "Who's this lineman with these skinnier legs?" Fucking Derrick Henry was standing around the lineman, looking literally just the size of a lineman.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, like huge. When he comes to the huddle, it is no drop off. It's the same. It's the same shit. Like, boom, boom, boom. Derrick Henry, like, hold on, where's the run? That's him. Like, oh my, like I'm not trying. Guy, like, just to be honest, like, just do the eye test. Like, guys see that in the secondary. Linebackers see it. Secondary see it. Nobody's really just like geared up to hit Derrick Henry besides defensive linemen, and even they can get tossed. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good for the Titans because they're going to get a guy who is a league MVP almost, and he's going to be fresh and he's going to be ready to go. And so Bengals have a tough task ahead. Again, we're going to get into that in the next episode. So we move on to another team that is in the AFC that's going to have to face the Titans sometime, or maybe face the Titans at certain points if they have to get to the Super Bowl. But the Bills just absolutely boat raced and destroyed the Patriots 47-17. Josh Allen, when he's on, he is incredible,
especially when they're not afraid of getting hurt and they let him run. Oh man, that
he was. He only had 4 incompletions. He was 21 for 25 with 308 yards, 5 touchdowns, no sacks, 6 rushes for 66 yards. I mean, this is a good Josh Allen. In 0 degrees.
That's the wild part.
0 degrees.
I enjoy watching Bill Belichick behind that mask the whole day.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't saying shit. He was just sitting there, just taking it like,
the best.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Belichick, I really did not expect for him to come in and lay an egg like that as a team. I mean, that doesn't happen to Bill Belichick. That doesn't happen, but it did.
I think they fooled us all year long, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I kept waiting for them to suck, and they didn't. And that's respect to Belichick for getting them there. But Mac Jones is not that guy. Like, he's not. He's like the grocery section of a CVS. If we want to go back to the analogy, like you can get your milk. You might find a tomato that's been there for
some ice cream. That's it.
Some like generic brands of something.
I mean, he got the job done, but he is not. You can't build a future. Well, I'll take that back. He might grow and get better, but for this, it wasn't it.
Talking about Mac Jones, he in the beginning of the game. I mean, this turned the entire game. Micah Hyde intercepted him in the end zone. And that was one of the most incredible interceptions I've ever seen. Mac Jones made a good throw. Micah Hyde just fell right. He just ran right underneath the ball. I don't even know if he even saw the ball hitting. And what are you looking at, Greg? You don't think he had a good throw?
Describe a good throw where the DB jumps right under the ball and picks it off.
I mean, I don't even know if Micah Hyde
spiral.
Nice art. Nice.
It was in the air,
really high.
Some good trajectory on it. It was just to the wrong person.
I don't know that Micah Hyde really even saw the ball.
It was amazing. Great pick.
It just like fell right into his arms. It fell right into the guy's arms.
That's not a good pass.
Okay. All right.
Not when it's the other team. Yeah, when it's the other team, that's not the best pass, Greg.
Well, fuck you both. So thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that.
Milk and go home.
Yeah, Buffalo's defense played well. 2 picks, 3 sacks, 5 hits on Mac Jones against the 1 on Josh Allen. Not to mention Devin Singletary made an appearance and he had 2 touchdowns. He had about 80 yards rushing or so. But this was the ultimate Bills team that we've been trying to see all year long. And they finally showed up. So they're going to be playing the Chiefs coming up this coming weekend. And the NFL has to be pretty pissed about that. They probably want the Chiefs and the Bills to be the AFC championship, but we're going to see who's the better team. We're going to see who the better team is. And that's going to be this weekend. So that's it for that game. That was a pretty otherwise boring game. I mean, there was nothing going on with this one. We have had some great reviews from all of you out there. And one of my friends asked me, are you going to stop talking about the Apple Podcast reviews in your podcast? And I said, hell no. You guys need to start rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts.
We keep talking.
I'm going to be as annoying on the Rob Gronkowski USAA commercials.
I'm special.
Oh my!
Why are they making fun of Gronk though, man? I feel like that was a little bit mean.
I mean, Gronk has the choice to say the line or not.
Well, I mean, it's kind of part of the line of why he didn't say no.
Yeah,
I don't think you can make fun of Gronk. Like
that's a solid point.
Yeah, like he's just there for a good time. Like, you know, as long as you're not belittling him, like, you know, he's for it.
You know, it's not a good time. You know, it's not a good time. Watching those fucking Rob Gronkowski commercials every time they come on. It makes me almost angry. Like, I'm so over them. No, he goes, oh, that's not the line. And the commercial is for an insurance that most people can't even acquire because it's for the military. I mean, it's a great thing for the military, but they're paying a lot of money to reach like 1% of the people watching. And it bothers me.
I mean, you know the business name, so it's working.
I've seen those commercials.
Yeah, I'm never gonna. If I ever have a chance to become a USAA member, I'm gonna point back to this Rob Gronkowski commercial and be like, no, I'm not gonna do it anymore. So, anyway, that was said because my friend told me I talk about the Apple Podcast too much, and it's not. I don't talk about it too much because we need more rating and reviewing Apple Podcast, the number 2 pros and a Joe. Now we move on to the GOAT. And we move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating the Eagles. And in the next episode, we're going to talk about whether or not they need to fine tune this playoff because there were some duds of a game, a lot of duds of a game. And this one was a dud of a game. I mean, there's not really much to talk about Tom Brady.
I didn't even watch it.
You didn't even watch it.
I was about 30 minutes late getting to the house. I recorded it. I sit down, it was 17-0. I was like, I'll just check the score. And it didn't get closer.
Nah, yeah. I didn't catch the whole game either. Watched the first half. By the time they put up 21, I'm kind of like a Madden rules when I'm watching football.
Skunk next.
Like, if you 21-0, the game's over. The game's over. I'm not watching it.
Yeah, and Jalen Hurts, he looked like a rookie quarterback, but I mean, even though he's not, but he was a rookie quarterback in the playoffs. He threw 3 picks. The Eagles' offense was just terrible. They didn't even get Devontae Smith the ball until the second half. And once they did, he started doing things. But the one thing I want to say about Tom Brady in this one is he won his 35th playoff game of his career. Think about that. That's incredible. He's also played 46 games in the playoffs, which if we're looking at 16 game seasons, he's 2 games short of 3 full 16 game seasons. That's how many playoff games this guy has played. And that is mind-boggling.
Same with LeBron. LeBron has the same kind of stats. Whereas, I mean, how many years has he played? 18 years?
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
You're slapping 3 extra. Oh man, the dude is amazing.
Tim Duncan was the same way. Tim Duncan played like 3 extra seasons. That's a lot of games on your body. But Tom, I don't think people talk about that enough. I don't think people talk about the extra games that Tom has played because he's played in so many playoff games. But he is just cruising through the rest of the season like he has been. And now that him and AB are on good terms again, I'm waiting for the moment when AB returns to the Buccaneers because they're best friends now.
Oh, stop it.
Watch that shit. Listen, the NFL is not really a sports league. It's actually an entertainment company. So
it is.
What better? Add a 501c3 if you guys didn't know that. It's a nonprofit. All right?
I did know that, but I didn't know what the 501c was.
It's just a but just the fact that this is going on is just like mind-boggling. I'm sorry. It is. It is.
And the Eagles are going to finish the season. This is why they didn't belong in the playoffs, but they didn't beat a playoff team this year. 0-7.
the Eagles have, I think, 4 first-round picks. They have some absurd amount of draft picks in 2022, so they're fine. Like that was 3 of the top 19 picks. So to be a playoff team, like they're about to get an influx of cheap talent. It's bright. Their future is bright.
Yeah, as long as Nick Sirianni could take him there, the head coach of the Eagles. But Jalen Hurts didn't give him much of a chance by turning the ball over as much as he did. So this game, there's not much to talk about. Bucks move on. They're going to play the Rams, and they're going to play the Rams in Tampa. So we'll talk about that in just a second. But the Steelers and the Chiefs, it was another sleeper.
Oh, my God.
The Chiefs win 42-21. Patrick Mahomes, 404 yards in the air, 5 touchdowns. Travis Kelce even had a touchdown pass. And here's a fun fact. Patrick Mahomes is 7-0 in the postseason versus quarterbacks not named Tom Brady. So that's the only guy he has to beat to get off that little schneid, I guess you can call it.
They would have played each other in 1 Super Bowl and 1 AFC championship. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So with all the marbles on the line, I mean, who has Tom not done that to? Except for Eli. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
That's Tom Brady. That's Tom Brady. This game was so boring. Like I was like, why the hell did they put this game on at the night game? Like,
I don't know.
Why not put the Dallas versus 49ers at the night game?
I will tell you why.
Can I share my excitement about this game? Now that
you had excitement about this game?
Yes, and I know we're not a sports betting podcast, but now that I am not employed by an NC2A college program, I can discuss my sports betting because it's banned for employees.
Okay.
The halftime spread was 7.5 points. With 5 minutes and 50-something seconds left, Kansas City was down 7-0. So they would have had to score 3 times in 6 minutes to cover. They did. They scored 3 touchdowns in just over 5 minutes. That shit was exciting, and that's why sports betting is exciting.
Betting makes the game better. I mean, it doesn't even have to be an absurd amount of money. Put $1 on the fucking game,
$10,
and watch how you watch that shit. We have a gentleman's bet. Be like, hey, $1, see who wins. KC versus you will watch the hell out of that game.
It's
You'll
amazing.
Be sweating. Your friends will ask you,
"Damn,
what's going on?" I got $1 on the Chiefs.
I got 4 quarters on this. Shut the fuck.
I guess the other big news out of this one is that. Here's what I was going to say, that the Chiefs find random guys. Jerick McKinnon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was not in the lineup. Daryl Williams was not in the lineup, but Jerick McKinnon comes out of nowhere, rushing all over the place, catching like 6 passes. I know he's been in the NFL for a little bit.
Yeah, you watched him as a Niner.
I know, but he hasn't showed up all year, and then all of a sudden he's just in the playoffs and he's showing up. I mean, he may have been on the team this year, but I don't know that he had that big of an impact. And it's just incredible that happens in a playoff game. Like he shows up and all of a sudden he's just running wild.
I mean, that's the beauty of a vet as a backup, because when he put an older guy in there in the playoffs, he's going to be okay. You put a rookie in there in the playoffs, it might get ugly, but you get a guy like that he's been around the block. He's fine. He's just, I'm guessing he was just excited. Like, I get to shine. And he did.
Yeah, you got to step up when it's your shot. Like, you got to step up. That almost reminds me of like how the receivers from the Bucks probably feel right now. It's like, fuck, Godwin's down. AB just dipped, you know what I'm saying? Now I got a shot, you know what I'm saying? And Tom throwing it to me. So he's like, this is my shot. So he probably feeling the exact same way because he has that same dynamic of an offense that he's on. It's like, hey, it's not all on me. All I got to do is just come up and show up, you know what I'm saying? And put my 2 cents in it. And he looked good, but that game was still boring as hell.
It was. It really was. And I guess what you could say for Ben Roethlisberger is that it was a nice career, but I know that Juju Smith-Schuster after the game was trying to petition for Ben to come back for 1 more year. I mean, Ben looked as done as anyone was done. I mean, he knew that his team didn't belong in this game. He knew that they had no shot. He even said that they had no shot in a way of trying to rally the troops, but it didn't work.
Was it really though? Like that should have been in our default. This dude came on the mic and was like, "We don't deserve to be here. of 14 teams. We're the 14th team. Why? Unless don't
the
do
bumper
that.
clot boy. What
Is he doing?
I think he was doing it. I think he was doing it to take the pressure off. He was like, let's just go out there, see what happens and have fun. And you know what? They ended up scoring first in this game. TJ Watt
off a pick
fumble
six.
back. No, yeah, well, he ran a fumble back.
Ben, you know what it was? Ben was ready to retire. He didn't really want to be there. He knew they couldn't win a Super Bowl. He's just like, come on, guys. Like, let's not extend this shit. Like, I'm done. I have my final walk. Let's roll.
Me and Ben felt the exact same fucking way in the game. Like, I didn't really want to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I pretty much watched the game by mistake or by default because I was still laying in the same position on the couch. You know, so
you couldn't find the remote. Yeah. It was just on.
The remote was like over there on the other couch. I'm like, that's too far.
And then Deontay Johnson dropped another pass, and you're like, maybe I need to get that remote.
Oh my God. How many passes did he drop?
Oh man.
Greg, walk us through that for a second about a wide receiver who can't catch. I mean, he made the touchdown catch later in the game, which was the harder of the catch, but he's doing like these quick slants and it just goes right through the diamond in his hands.
I mean, the first part, I believe there's an innate ability to catch to start, but then once you start dropping the ball, it's mental. It gets in your brain. And it's like, don't drop it. Oh, fuck, I just dropped it. Don't drop it, just drop it off. Once you get a case of the drops, man, it is tough to overcome.
You got Juju saying, come on back. Let's run it back, Ben. Ben's probably like, shut the fuck up.
It's amazing how much you can think about while the ball is in the air from the quarterback to your hands. Like you could go through like 10 years of drops in your brain while that ball's in the air. Wow. And you're like, oh shit, I dropped another one.
I guess you're right, because this is not the same thing, but I played co-ed softball and I played first base. And every time I would get a pop-up, an easy pop-up to first base, I would look up and I'd be like, don't drop it. And I'd fucking drop it.
Drop.
And I'm like, damn it, you did it again, you idiot. They're going to take you out of first base if you don't catch the damn ball. But I get that.
Hey, I got a pop quiz for you guys. NFL leaders in drops.
I know who it is.
There's two tied for one.
Jamar Chase is one of them.
Yep.
What?
He had 11 drops.
Surprising. The other one is also surprising.
I don't know who the second guy is.
Who's the second guy?
Keenan Allen.
Really?
Wow.
9 drops.
Wow, that is a lot for him.
Yeah.
He doesn't drop the ball often at all.
He didn't used to, and it's a concern, a big concern.
You know, the reason I know that is because I went to go look for Deontay Johnson's stats on the year to see how many drops he has, because I feel like he's dropped at least the most in the league, and he didn't to his credit.
How is Hollywood Brown? No, sorry. Marquise Brown not on this list.
Not Hollywood no more.
Tied for 6. So here's an interesting thing. Keenan Allen is number 1. And then also on his list, tied at 6, Jared Cook, the Chargers tight end, Austin Eckler, the Chargers running back. It's making me think that Herbert needs to take a little something off the pill. If he's got 3 dudes in the top 10, I'm starting. It might be a little too fiery coming off his arm.
Interesting. Yeah, because he's probably throwing the ball at like 90 miles an hour at their face.
Yes.
Not cool. Last game that we need to talk about before we head out for this episode is the Cardinals at the Rams. The Rams won 34-11. Another clunker of a game. Kyler Murray looked awful. He threw a pass that was so bad, even Carson Wentz was like, what are you doing, bro? And that was the one where he was in his own end zone, and he's getting sacked, and he just kind of like underhands the ball out to like the sidelines, and it got picked off for a touchdown. That was the game right there.
Yeah, that shit sucked.
That shit sucked.
I think the biggest question for me in this game was which Rams were going to show up. Like, which Rams are going to show up? And I never know what I'm going to get with them.
Yeah. All right. So do you know what has happened since they started falling off? What was the catalyst behind that?
But the Rams?
The Cardinals. Sorry.
Oh, DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins. So Kyler Murray gets hurt. They don't skip a beat.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins gets hurt, and all hell, it just falls apart. It just shows you his value. Like, he literally was holding the team up. and they miss him, and they weren't the same without him.
That reminds me of like Josh Allen having Stephon Diggs, right?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Like 2 years ago, third down, Josh Allen was not that guy.
No, he was not
that guy. But when you get that receiver that you know can win, you know, and then has those hands, you money as a quarterback.
Outstanding. Yes.
The Cardinals, they started this year 7-0, and they ended up getting to 10-2, and they had a 2-game lead over the Rams in mid-December, but they finished with 5 losses in 6 games, including the postseason. And that's never going to win you anything. Kliff Kingsbury, I think it's his third year as the head coach of the Cardinals, third year. He has to be on the hot seat. And according to the Action Network on Twitter, I saw this and I thought it was pretty insane, honestly, that he's done this. But in each of his last 8 seasons of coaching football between Texas Tech and the Cardinals, he has finished the season so terribly, and they have faded so fast. Like in 13 at Texas Tech, lost 5 of 6. Then the next year lost 4 of 6, and then 4 of 6, and then 6 of 8, 6 of 8, 5 of 5. Then he moves to the Cardinals. He's lost his first year at the Cardinals, lost 7 of 9. Last year lost 5 of 7, and then this year lost 5 of 6. What does that tell you guys about something that's going on? Like, why can they not finish seasons, or at least him as a head coach? Why can he not finish seasons?
That really tell me something wrong. Like, I'm looking at this shit and like, how do you come from college off of losing the last 5 out of 5 and then end up with a head coaching job in the NFL? Like,
catch our last episode and we tell you why Kliff Kingsbury got that job.
Yeah, like this shit is backwards. This is ass backwards right now. Like, I just like you use it like
man, he fits the demographic.
Like, it's like you come from college like off of like national championships and division.
He had Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback.
Yeah, like you don't come off of like losing 6 of 8, 5 of your last 5 like this. Shit, you need to be downgraded to D2. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't get upgraded to the NFL. Shit.
It's great. This is great info that you pulled up, because it's a bad problem.
That's bad.
I have no idea what it could be, other than that rear end puckering real tight towards the end of the season.
Shit get tight, man. He can't hold it.
Shit get tight, man. Oh, that's what the name of the episode's gonna be. Shit get tight, man. I love that.
It's fascinating. It's great. I've never seen a man with such a poor second half record of life.
Yeah.
It doesn't bode well for once he hits 40. Like,
you know what? Also,
31 to 80 might be a rough go for him.
I feel like Kyler kind of gave up last night. He didn't look like he was very into that game. He did not look like he wanted to be there. And you're playing in the playoffs, bro.
Shit, when you down like that much and you got that D-line coming out of your ass, it ain't nothing you can do.
Yeah, Aaron Donald does not seem like he would be fun to have you chasing you down all day. Not at all.
Donald,
especially when you have to pass. No, thank you.
Von Miller, Floyd, like you got guys that are just as fast as you out there. You know what I'm saying?
Like, the one thing I could say about Odell Beckham Jr. is that he does give the Rams a different look and everything like that. But I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna think this forever.
Go ahead.
All he's proving to me is that he didn't try in Cleveland, because all of a sudden he's great. And he's throwing touchdown passes. He's getting all the balls, and basically he forced his way out of Cleveland because he didn't like it there and he didn't want to play hard. That's
things.
My thought.
One, it's about the right fit at the right time, as far as careers in general. And 2, you got to keep a diva happy.
I got one thing. His damn daddy was right. Man. We gave his daddy hell, and it turned out his daddy knew exactly what the hell going on. He knew his son was not being used to his full ability and wanted him out of there. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, shout out to Pops. Shout out to Pops.
Beckham Sr. for Executive of the Year.
Shout out to Pops. Bang, 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 bang. Yeah.
You know, how do you think Jarvis Landry feels that one of his best friends in Odell Beckham Jr. just up and left him and didn't try hard and didn't want to play?
Do we know? I mean, like if you're happy, you're gonna try harder. That's just natural. Like if you're bought in, if you're happy, you see a future for the team. You don't have Baker Mayfield as your quarterback, you're gonna try harder.
Bro, it just, I don't think it could have worked out just because, like, if OBJ is the diva, what does that make Baker Mayfield? Because he has a little bit of something in him too. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck, he's on TV.
He's got some
every
jerk.
2 seconds.
Yeah, he got something in
diva.
him too. So
Absolutely.
like, that never usually works out well.
No, it never usually works when you got the gunslinger mentality like Baker Mayfield, man. Like Baker Mayfield. All right, that's it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed our Super Wildcard weekend recap. It wasn't as exciting as last year's, but at least we got the 49ers and Cowboys, and at least why didn't I talk about this real quick in the Bengals and Raiders game, the inadvertent whistle? I can't believe I forgot this. God. So this upset a lot of people because the spread was 5.5 in the game. And so this put the Bengals up and to win the bet. But so it was in the first half. Joe Burrow throws the ball, and about maybe 2 milliseconds before the ball gets to the receiver, they blow the whistle.
Chill.
It was, right? I mean, it was pretty quick. It was like bang, bang, right?
It was noticeably before the catch. After
whistle
the throw,
hands, whistle hands.
Huh?
I said whistle hands.
Thought you were giving me fucking spirit fingers over there.
I thought he was throwing up the rock like Jay-Z.
No, I keep doing this. Yeah, like the diamond cutter or something like that. But I know we texted about this on Saturday night, and I know that a lot of people were complaining, and I know the rules are the rules. And then I think the refs even said that they didn't blow the whistle too late or something like that. And that referee crew is not going to be working in the playoffs anymore.
Wow.
Skraby, I mean, you nailed it. The rule is the rule. If you blow a whistle, the play stops. If you call a man out of bounds, the play stops. I don't give a shit if it affected the play or not. That's literally the rule. It is written in the rule. As soon as the whistle is blown, as soon as you say a man is out of bounds, the play stops and it's not challengeable. Like, you can't just come to a meeting and be like, you know what? I don't think it really affected the play, because it didn't. But a rule is a rule. You just got to roll with it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I'm just rolling with that one. I've had my share of bad calls with referees. I can give it down.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I was really fired up over it, though, because people were like, this is changing the entire outcome of the game. I'm like, no, it didn't. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
Crazy.
Look out of here.
I don't like it when people on Twitter just put up these ridiculous things about what they think. Anyway, I'm just rambling now. And
that's what Twitter's for, man. That's what it's there for.
I know you do like the Twitter. You do like the Twitter, Greg. You do. I
love it all, man. That's
at Catch Camarillo.
That's your platform to spread your beef. If you can't have a podcast like Two Pros and a Joe, you got to get your word out. Let it out there. And if you have 4 followers, no one's listening. But if you got a couple hundred, there's people listening.
What did you say about their beef?
Let it air your beef. Air your grievances.
Take that shit to the streets. Just take that shit to the tweets.
You weren't talking about the beef that I provided my family on Thanksgiving. Okay.
Oh, no, that's the white meat. You let the white meat hang.
Yeah.
All right, it's a wrap. End I know.
Podcast. Oh my God.
When Skraby starts talking about beef and wieners and all that stuff, it's time to go. It's time to go. Thanks for everybody for listening. We're gonna have an episode as well this week that previews all of the divisional playoff games. Marcus is just looking at me like, why do you talk like that?
Yeah.
I know it's weird. It's weird, right? It's weird. But I'm Skraby. That's Marcus McNeil at McNeil73 on Instagram, at Marcus McNeil73 on Twitter. And then Greg on Twitter is at Catch Camarillo. You can find us 2prosandajoe.com, the number 2 prosandajoe.com. And then all of our social media handles are the same, 2prosandajoe. So that's it. And I hope you enjoyed this recap. And we'll be Marcus. Look at Marcus. He is sipping tea. He's legitimately sipping tea.
Yeah.
Was the pinky up, Marcus? I didn't see if the pinky was up.
Yeah, I put the pinky up. I got class, Skraby. I got class.
Okay. On that note, Marcus has class and we're out.